Okay, so let's talk about your midterm project. If you go to assignment, here's the description and the outline. And then as you'll note, right, this midterm project will be due next Tuesday, right? So June 7th. Okay, so for your project, what I want you to do is I want you to create 3 lessons. And these lessons will describe how to use Google Docs, Google Slides, and Google Forms. So to deliver these lessons, you're actually going to use Google Websites, Google Slides, and videos. So when I say create 3 lessons, I'm going to want you to create 1 lesson using Google Slides. Then create another lesson using Google Websites, and then create a third lesson using a video. Okay, so you're only going to do 1 lesson per digital medium, right? So 1 lesson with websites, 1 lesson with slides, and 1 lesson with videos. Okay, and then these lessons will be on how to use Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms. Okay. In addition, you're going to actually have to do an assessment, create an assessment, and create an interactive document. Okay, and then let's go through the specifics here. So your topics are just that, how to use Docs, Slides, and Forms, right? Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms. Now specifics. When you talk about Google Docs and Google Slides, I want you to explain how to create a new workspace, so how to create a new Google Doc or a new Google Slide. I want you to explain each menu and just any 2 features within each menu. Okay, I want you to explain any 5 of the buttons on the toolbar, right? So these are the menus when I talk about that, and then here are the buttons on the toolbar. I want you to explain how to use comments. I want you to explain how to use suggestions, but only explain this for the Google Docs, okay? Because this isn't a part of Google Slides. I want you to explain how to edit the background of the workspace. I want you to explain how to save the document, and I want you to explain how to share the document. Okay? And then when you do that, discuss permissions to view, to comment, and to edit. So now Google Forms, I want you to explain how to create a new workspace, so how to create a new Google Form. I want you to explain the buttons at the top, so the color palette, the preview, the setting, the send, and the more, right, the 3 dots. Explain the side buttons, right? So the plus, the T, the add an image, add a video, and then the add a section. I want you to explain how to create a question. When you do this, explain all 9 questions. Okay? And I don't want just you tell me there are 9 questions. I want you to explain how to create each question and how they're a little different and the different options for each question. And then explain all the buttons each time you do a new question. Do the trash, the duplicate, the require, and the more. Specifically the more part, it changed a little bit for each question. And then explain how to move questions, explain how to collect responses, explain how to turn the form on and off, whether you're going to accept responses or not. And then I want you to explain the difference between the live link and the Google link. All right, so remember there are 2 different links. I explain that difference. Okay, and then your formats. So the slide lesson, I just want you to create one of the lessons using Google Slides. So this is pretty much just a PowerPoint presentation that you would show a class. That's the idea. Okay, but we're going to do it in Google Slides. You need to be very specific, right? Use screenshots, make sure it's user-friendly, and make sure it's of good quality. Okay? Then also do a video lesson. So I want you to screen capture a lesson. You can do, whatever screen capture you want, Screencastify, or if you have another program, it's fine. And make sure, again, you're very specific on your lesson. So make it a quality lesson on whichever topic you pick. And then make sure you have clean edits, right? So if you have some weird stuff in your video, so maybe there's dogs barking in the background, or you say a lot, you need to get rid of that stuff. Okay, so make sure this is a good quality video and clean lesson. Okay, and then last, your website lesson. To be clear, I don't want you to create another website. I want you to create a lesson on your website using 1 or more web pages. Okay, so this website is just a delivery system. Again, make it a quality lesson. Screenshots are great. Make sure it's user-friendly. Make sure it's organized well, and make sure it contains all the specifics, right? So make it a quality lesson. You're just, instead of using Google Slides, you're going to use a website. Okay, a little add-on here, as part of your website lesson, I want a podcast. Okay, I want a podcast that's 1 to 2 minutes long, and it has to have fade in and fade out music. Okay, and then make sure the fade in and fade out music are different, and then that's just going to be a part of your website lesson. Right? It could be over anything you want. Just make sure you include a podcast in the website lesson. Right? So somewhere on your web page, wherever your lesson is, or pages. Okay, now your documents and assessments. I want you to create an interactive document, right? Only for 1 lesson though. So only do this for 1 of the lessons. Right? I want you to create it using Google Docs, and then the topic and organization can be anything you want. But remember, in interactive documents, it must require the students to interact with one another. Okay, it can't just be freestyle. It has to be quality. So look back on our interactive document lesson and use those ideas and specifics. Okay, and then I also want you to create an assessment. I want it to be a 10-question assessment, and again, I only want this for 1 lesson. So the idea here is, here's your check for understanding. So you're going to deliver whatever the lesson is, and then here's your 10-question check for understanding. I want you to create this lesson using Google Forms. So I want you to only use the multiple choice, or actually you can use drop down. or single word answers or numeric answers. So either do multiple choice, the drop down, single word, or numeric. Okay, so this needs to be very specific. We're actually going to use these when we do Google Sheets. Okay, then I want you to share the assessment with the entire class. So when I say share, I want you to email with the entire class. Okay, so for the sharing and posting, I want you to create a new navigation bar called Midterm. I want you to create a new web page, right, on your website called Midterm Lessons. I want you to somehow organize it. So create an organizational system for the information on your page, because you're going to be housing all 3 of your lessons on this page, or links to parts of your lesson. All right, and then provide links to all the documents, all the videos, web pages, and the podcasts. Okay, and that's why you need some kind of organizational system. And then finally, sharing. I want you to share all your documents, slides, forms, videos, and podcasts with me, right, at the JTkinNW Gmail, and give me permission to edit for anything that's appropriate that I can have permission to edit. Right? Obviously, I'm not going to be able to edit your videos or your podcasts. All right, that's your midterm assignment. If you have any questions or comments, just email me at my JTkin Wesleyan email address, right, not the Gmail address, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.